Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Glad to be here.
Over the past 2 weeks, we've really tracked a powerful convergence of forces.
A radical recalibration of U.S. global commitments on one side.
And a simultaneous, a hardening of domestic security posture on the other. This deep dive is all about the contradictions in that shift.
It's a fascinating and complex picture.
It is. Now, before we unpack it all, this deep dive is powered by ProWave AI.
And it's generated by Stylo News, the AI-powered news application.
So let's start with that geopolitical reorientation. The new U.S. national security strategy released December 5th.
The velocity of this change is what's so striking. It pivots, and pivots aggressively, toward an America-first policy.
Reviving the spirit of the Monroe Doctrine, really.
Exactly. It makes Western Hemisphere dominance the top strategic priority, which, necessarily reduces focus on traditional global interventions.
Okay, so let's analyze what that pivot does to established alliances like NATO.
Well, the strategy signals some clear opposition to any further NATO expansion.
And it conditions U.S. support, right?
It does. It says European allies must meet their defense responsibilities by 2027. This isn't just bureaucratic language.
No, it's effectively trading European stability for strategic flexibility closer to home.
A gamble, really. And one many allies seem to be rejecting. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz called parts of the strategy unacceptable.
Unacceptable. And connecting this to the bigger picture, the strategy also redefines Russia.
Yes, not as a primary threat anymore, but as a, quote, guarantor of global stability.
That must be alarming capitals across Europe.
It is. And at the same time, on the Ukraine front, we're seeing some very mixed signals.
The U.S. announced a stop to financial aid,
but later confirmed a commitment to providing security guarantees in a future peace agreement. It's a contradiction.
And diplomatically, reports are suggesting the U.S. is pressing Kyiv to concede Donbas territory.
A position Kyiv strongly resists, which just shows how this U.S. pivot really complicates existing conflicts.
So the strategy implies a global pullback, but let's see where the money is actually going. The new NDAA draft was just released.
The National Defense Authorization Act. And it's critical because it dictates policy, not just budget numbers.
And Congress is proposing an $8 billion increase over the Pentagon's own request.
That's a very clear sign of hawkish priorities. It includes full funding for the Navy's FA-XX program.
The sixth-generation fighter.
Right. And that detail is significant. It signals a shift away from counterinsurgency and toward high peer naval conflict readiness. It's a massive leap beyond current fighters.
This also brings up a key question about technology and, pragmatism.
You're talking about the NVIDIA chips.
Exactly. President Trump authorized NVIDIA to export advanced H200 AI chips to some selected Chinese customers.
Reversing earlier restrictions. It suggests the administration favors maintaining U.S. dominance through market access, a sort of managed competition, not total decoupling.
And that Western Hemisphere focus is being actively militarized.
We're seeing intensified efforts against drug cartels, particularly targeting operations linked to Venezuela.
But the most radical move is domestic, transferring southern border jurisdiction in California, Arizona, and Texas to the U.S. Navy.
That's an unprecedented constitutional and logistical shift, putting the Navy in charge instead of traditional border agencies.
And on the home front, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem has been staunchly defending these hardline immigration policies.
She has, amidst some very intense partisan questioning. At the same time, authorities are proposing that travelers from 42 countries submit 5 years of social media history.
That's a vast expansion of vetting, just hardening the perimeter.
It is.
But this next point seems to raise some serious constitutional red flags. The primary controversy is around the designation of Antifa.
Right. The FBI operations director, Michael Glasheen, testified that Antifa is the top domestic terrorism threat.
Aligning with presidential orders.
Yes, but here's the controversy. When he was questioned by lawmakers like Representative Benny Thompson, Glasheen had to admit the FBI couldn't provide concrete details on Antifa's structure or its membership or even a headquarters.
So it's defining a threat based on political convenience.
Or attempting to designate an ideology as a formal security structure. It's leading to widespread skepticism from intelligence watchdogs.
And compounding all of this is the extension of a Trump executive order authorizing summary executions of designated terrorists.
Which raises serious alarms about due process and, unchecked executive power.
So if we connect all the dots, these are moves toward strategic certainty.
Militarily, technologically, and domestically, all in the face of global uncertainty.
Which means you should be watching for a few key events. First, the congressional finalization, and vote on that 2026 NDAA.
That should happen this week.
Second, monitor the diplomatic follow-up talks between the U.S., Ukraine, and Russia on the Donbass conflict.
And finally, track the implementation of those new AI chip export controls. See what impact they have on U.S.-China tech relations.
This sheer volume of interconnected policy makes parsing the signal from the noise almost impossible without help.
I agree.
Which is why this deep dive relies on Stylo News. It's a mobile and computer app you can download and customize for your own personal intelligence style briefs.
It pulls from hundreds of traditional news sources and X, so you can tailor it to cut through the complexity.
And focus on the facts that matter to you. Subscribe to Stylo News today, where you can get AI-powered news on demand at stylonews.com.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you. If you have a topic you want us to explore, be sure to request it for a future deep dive and follow Stylo News on social media. Good day.